Hello everyone and welcome back to Designed by Committee. We're on episode 4, a show about how I let the internet design a game. So what it worked is I've, over the past weeks, have collected loads of suggestions from yourselves and put them in this bowl and slips of paper. And we're going to pick one randomly and do it live for you guys. So you can see basically how I'm going to put this together in a game. And there'll be some like creative tinkering to get it to hook into the game that we've got currently. But yeah, we're going to build out from this list here. So let's draw one live. This is not pre-rehearsed or anything like that. So I'm going to give it a little mix-up. I'll do it on camera so you can see what we're doing. Okay. Okay, now I'm going to pick one. And got a thin one here. Let's check out the thin one. Okay. So we have got, some of these are really out there, by the way. So what have we got here? Okay, this one's not too bad. So this is from Bayakuran. Jump pad traps. Wall, floor, ceilings, if they are there, randomly pop on players. I'm not entirely certain what all that means, but we'll give it a shot. So there you go. Jump pad traps. Wall, floor, and ceilings, if they are there, randomly pop on players. Okay, let's figure that one out. So, I'm going to guess what they're trying to do is make it so they're like little traps will randomly spawn, and roughly where the player is, and if the player touches it, they get launched into the air. Okay, let's do that. So let's jump into Unreal and take a look. Okay, so first things first, let's build our trap. So I'm going to go into our blueprints folder, and let's make a blueprint class, actor, and call it jump pad. And the jump pad, we're going to give it its design and functionality. Fortunately, this should be quite a simple one to do. Done a fair few jump pads in my time. Let me just see if this will actually open. There we go. Okay, so a few aspects of building out an asset. You need to have you think about what's going to be the triggering event for this and prepare it for that. So a jump pad, essentially what you're going to do is you can do either an overlap or a hit. I think a hit will be better than an overlap. That way it will trigger as soon as you land on it. So let's just do a cube here. And we're going to put that up here. Something akin to that. We'll make it look more fancy later on. Yeah, so as I said, you got overlap or hit. If you're going to do the overlap method, you're going to add onto here a box collision normally, or whatever shape platform you're doing. We'll do the box. Either or, totally okay. Yeah. So over here, we're going to do a hit event. And on the hit event, we're going to take whatever we get coming from the event here and launch it into the air. So we're going to take from here, and we're going to cast to character. So if a character hits it, we want to launch it, and we're using a character because there is a function called launch character, which is exactly what we want. And launching in the character, we want to go in the direction of the jump pad. So we want to get the up vector of this pad. So we're going to do get actor up vector. And then we're going to launch it by its strength. And we'll make that a variable. So as a float. That way, jump strength. So we can customize it as we wish. And then plug that into the launch velocity. And let's compile it and set the jump strength here to 1200. Okay. Now, what the X, Y override and Z override do. So if you are hitting this thing, do you want it to wipe out any existing movement in the X and Y or Z and replace it with a launch? Or do you want to add it on? And it depends on what kind of jump pad you want to do. In this case, I think we're going to override the X and Y and override the Z. But obviously play with that to get different feelings that you may want to do. Yeah, that'll work as you want it to there. Okay, so that'll launch the character. But I'm going to go an extra step. I'm going to say, okay, if this is a physics object, so not a character, but a physics object, I also want it to launch. I want basically want to launch anything that lands on it. So if the other component, so not the other component, and we're doing component because you can only apply physics assets, physical functions to primitive components, which is what this is. You see, if you hover over it, it tells you primitive component. I'm going to take this other component here, and on cast failed, I'm going to launch this in the air. And for that, I'm going to do apply impulse. Or not apply, add impulse. That's the one. Add impulse. There we go. So on cast failed, we want to add impulse. Now, this will only work if this thing is simulating physics. So before we get to add impulse, we need to add a condition to check to see if the other component here is simulating physics. It's simulating physics. And that'll be our condition for that. And the best way to describe an impulse is imagine like a flick. You're going to flick it. And in that case, I want to take the actor up vector and its strength and multiply this further by the mass of the component. So I'm going to get the mass. And then put that into the impulse. Okay, we may need to give it an extra boost in that regard, but let's test this out. So let's just drag our jump pad into our scene here. So make it a bit bigger. Like that. And we'll set viewport. And where is it? It is. So if I run into it, it is not. There we go. Hit. So it works when I hit. I guess I want it to also trigger when I enter it. So I'm going to need an overlap as well as the hit, I think. Because I land on it, it's not a problem. Okay. Boing. Cool. Okay, let's change it to an overlap then. Not a big deal. We're going to go add a box collision. And we'll make that as close as possible to the surface of the pad. I'm making sure it's not clipping through the bottom, so if you approach it from underneath, it won't push you up. Okay, and then with the box, I'm going to do add component begin overlap, and basically going to swap it out for this hit event here. So other actor, other component, and then get rid of that. Okay. There you go. So I should be able to walk into it now. Yeah, there you go. And it'll launch me. So let's give some physics objects in here too. So let's just drag in a shape here. Let's bring in a cube. Let's bring it up on here so I can knock it off. Like that. Okay. And I'm going to tell it to simulate physics. Hey. Okay, so this is what I was thinking of, is that the mass of the object is not enough. We need to multiply it. So let's add a multiplier to the physics push here. So when we multiply mass, we're going to add another multiplier. And I'm going to multiply by 100. Okay. Right, let's see. Oh. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Not good enough. Okay. So this is what I tend to do when I'm working with physics. Just chuck in a high number to see if it's working. So add a few more zeros to that. If it launches it straight up in the air, that's fine with us. We just want to see it working. No. Okay, so it should do something. Oh, I know why. It's because our cube here, this is probably going to go nuts now. If I go to the physics section, so whenever you enable physics on an object, I forgot about this. Whenever you enable physics on an object, you have to go down and make sure that simulation, so that means physics simulation, is generating hit events and or generating overlap events. So, I mean, really, they should rename generate overlap events to simulation generates overlap events, similar to this. But either one would do fine. So we can do overlap events for this one in particular, because we're doing an overlap. It's probably going nuts now. Yep, it's gone. So yeah, let's let's get rid of the multiplier. Yeah, let's remove that. Let's say multiplying by mass should be fine. There we go. Boing. Boing. Yeah, cool. All right. Nicely done. Okay, so looking good. Now, the rest of the request was put on the wall, floor, and ceilings if they are there, randomly pop on players. So let's do the wall, floor, and ceiling. So this will actually work with our existing pad because we made it use the up vector. And the up vector will change if I was to rotate it. So if I rotated it and put it on the wall, like this, and ran straight into it, it's going to push me off it. Boing. Boing. And same with the physics objects. Because the up vector is relative. So if it's rotated round, its up vector is just pointing out to the side now. And same goes for... there you go. Same goes for ceilings too. So if I was to do something like this... and make a little box room for myself. We should see us bouncing all over the place. Ooh. Ah! That's fun. Oh, I'm stuck. Trying to get out. There we go. There we go. We're out. Yeah. Doing, 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 doing. Yeah. Cool. So that works for all those ones. The next part was a last part of Biocuron's suggestion was having it randomly pop on players. Okay. So we're going to delete our jump pads there. And we're going to make it randomly pop on the player. For whatever reason, I don't know, but you guys are designing the game. So, we need to find our first person character. Here we are. And we're going to make it randomly decide when to pop on the player. So, let's do a custom event in here. And it would be like set or start jump pad. And actually, we might change this to spawn jump pad. Spawn jump pad. And we're going to spawn actor from class. Choose our jump pad. Like so. And the spawn transform is, I want to put on the floor by the player. Okay, so let's go and find the floor. So to do that, we drag out the capsule component and do find floor. Not capsule component, sorry. Find floor. Ah, sorry, character movement. That's what it is. Capsule location is what you want. So that we can just use get actor location. Like that. And the floor result is a hit result. We can split that and it'll give us all the information, including this hit result here, which I can break open and get the location out of it. So I'm going to split that there and plug that in. Okay, so when I'm spawning this in, I want it to always spawn. Don't worry if I'm clipping through a wall or anything like that. So collision handling override, we're going to change this to always spawn, ignore collisions. Okay. Compile, save. So now we need to set a timer up for this thing. So we are going to randomize when it starts doing this. So let's go to begin play. And We've already got this stuff in from last time we were working on this, so let's sequence that out. And we're going to do set timer by event. Event pin, we're going to do create event and select our spawn jump pad. But the time is going to be randomized. So we're going to do random float in range. And we're going to go everything between 2 and 5 seconds. Okay. And that's going to loop. Okay, so that's going to loop in and spawn a jump pad. Doing this. Now, I don't want to have like a bajillion jump pads in the level. I want it to destroy the previous one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to store the return value of this current jump pad. And then right at the start, I'm going to take the jump pad, convert to validated get, because the first time it happens, it's not going to be valid. So we still want it to go ahead and spawn it in. But if it is valid, I want to destroy the actor and then go down to spawn the jump pad. Okay, so let's test this out. So I can run around randomly. Oh, and it spawned one in there. It hasn't found the floor. It's doing... Why is it doing that? It's doing like the center of the pad there. There we go. Get out to location. Can't find floor. I mean, it should be going to a vertical trace down. Hit the floor. Yeah, why is that not working? Hang on. No, I'm confused. Why is that doing that? Oh, no, get to location. Oh, no, not get to location. I don't know. Let's get the world location of the capsule. Give it exactly what it wants. It should be fine with that. Yeah, still spawning it at the midpoint. That's okay, fine. We'll add the offset to that. I don't know why it's not finding the floor. It should find the floor. Jump pad's not hovering. No. Yeah. So what it should do, it should like do a trace down to find the floor. I mean, we'll make our own one. It's not a... Yeah, let's make our own one. Okay, so if that doesn't work. Probably want to angle it as well. So if we're going down a slope, that'd be quite cool to do. So let's do that. Let's go and do a function for this one. Get floor transform. And we're going to do a line trace by channel. Start point is the actor location. And the end point is the actor location with a vertical drop. So we'll do 300 there. Okay. Visibility. Yeah, fine. Now, we only want this to happen when we are actually hitting something. When we do, we want to return the location and the normal. Okay, rest of it we shouldn't need. And we'll make this a pure function. It's just getting information. That's totally fine with us. So now I don't need this. I can just go ahead and use my get floor transform. Give me my location. And then the normal, I'm going to drag into the rotation and it will add the rotation from X vector. Which should be enough for that to work. We'll soon see. Is that going to work better? No. Why is that not working? Find floor. What have I missed here? Location. Put debug on. So we can see what it's doing. Oh, wait a moment. Stupid me. Negative 300. You want to go down? There we go. Yeah, there we go. Okay, yeah, so the rotation's off because it's picking the X vector. We want probably the Z vector of the normal. So we will take the yep. Get up. No, what are we doing? Oh no, this is what you want to do. You want to take this rotation from X vector here, and then we want the rotation to be the up vector. Get up vector. Like that. Let me just double check rotation. I mean, we could make rot from Z, I guess. That might be the way to do that. It's because the jump pad here is rotated to look up by default. X is forwards by default, so whenever you add this in, there you go. And it should also now go on a slope. Yeah, there we go. Check it on other slopes as well. Boing. There we go. Yeah, because the Z vector is the default for the jump pad, not the X vector, we had to make rot from the Z vector there. Excellent. Well, thank you so much from Byrocurrent for their suggestion for the jump pad. Hopefully that is what you're asking for. So if you want to watch the next episode, you can watch the next episode right now over on patreon.com/Ryan Laley. And we'll continue the journey on for episode 5, where I pick a random design from the bowl and we let the internet design the game. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and I'll see you all next time. Bye, everyone.